Yeah.
Commissioner Snyder.
Here.
Bone.
Here.
Twilliger.
Here.
Geisler.
Here.
Dorian.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Chairman Glazer.
Here.
7 present, 0 absent.
Thank you. Great job, good to see everyone. Let's see, next item on the agenda is any public comment? Public comment. See none, going once, twice, gone. All right. Administrator, controller, staff report.
Good morning. Morning. There's a lot on this front page. County Services Building, so the plans to renovate the second floor and a few spaces on the first and third floors are ready to go out to bid. The leak that we had at the courthouse, which, you know, we originally estimated could cost up to 6 figures, thanks to Wade's creativity and hard work, we managed to resolve and repair that for significantly less, and it seems to be holding since we've just had a bunch of rain, so we're confident that's behind us. We have 194 inmates at the jail.
Commissioner Bone has.
Oh,
The county services building, and us going out for bid, who's that going out to bid to?
Well, whoever responds, I mean, we just put it out on the street and then
Whoever
whoever
responds.
responds.
So it could be local, could be from
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yep, could be in there. Juvenile Justice Center, pumper is done, and, they do have to wait until spring for final coatings on the outside wall, but, that's very minor. Central ceiling did get the EPIS replaced, and it looks almost as if it was the first original. Skipping over to, community corrections on page 4. Talked a lot about the grant that, we were able to get with the Community Foundation for some of our probationers to get retraining or training at GMCA. And those programs, and I don't know if you know how GMCA works, it's a member organization, so the construction companies that are the companies that have tradespeople that are members pay a, lower tuition for their apprentices, for their people. These folks have not been assigned employers yet, so the tuition is a little bit higher, but we do have enough funding for them to complete the semester through the spring. So at that point, we'll be looking for grant money, to coordinate with GMC to hopefully to get them through at least another year of their education. Emergency management, we did have a contract signing with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers last week. Some of you were able to attend, and the charrette, which is the word of the year, which I've never heard before, is really just a very intense planning meeting, and that is gonna be 2.5 days next week, starting on Tuesday, going through Wednesday and part of Thursday. The Midland Business Alliance and U.S. Army Corps have been really, we've had a call every Thursday trying to get that organized and scheduled as far as who should be there and how those days will roll out. So, we have another meeting this Thursday, which I will only be on partially for that call because I'm moderating the Midland Business Alliance, the local business environment, state of the business, state of small business. And there's actually gonna be 4 different companies this year for that panel, so it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good conversation. Emergency management, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about with that. Finance and budget. Oh, sorry.
Jay has a question.
Yeah, could we go back to the, 60% funding cut for emergency management?
Yeah.
Could you, kind of elaborate on that, what's going
Yeah,
on down
so-
with the state, and what are we gonna do about that?
There's nothing we can do about it. It
I
is
know.
unfortunately,
But what are we gonna do about that deficit?
we've already accounted for that in the budget.
Okay.
We knew that that was coming. And that is, you know, this community is required to have an emergency management coordinator because of the size, because of the population, because we have funded, the position has always been partially funded by MSP, Michigan State Police, through, federal funding. And although I don't know if the money that's coming from the federal government to the states is less, but the amount of money that the state is passing on is being reduced significantly. I didn't think it was gonna be quite this much, but, and there could be a change to that in the future. I know that their organization is trying to work with the state to see if there can be an increase again. That has nothing to do with anything that we have or haven't
I
done here.
didn't think it did,
No.
I just wanted.
No, it's just a financial issue with the state of Michigan. We continue to have to, even for less money, we still have to do the same amount of exercise, the same amount of work, and the same amount of reporting.
Of course.
Of course.
So there's, if we talk to our people down in Lansing, that's not gonna do anything, this is more of a Fed thing.
Well, I'm not sure exactly, Gay, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have the conversation.
Yes. Yes,
So.
cause that's significant.
Well,
It really is.
the percentage is significant, the dollar amount is not as much, but it is still something that we've had to absorb, right? So.
Yeah,
anyway.
and really didn't see it was coming, no preparation.
Yeah, we knew that it might be coming, which is why
Okay.
we adjusted accordingly in the budget.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Under finance, administration, and budget, we are getting ready for open enrollment for both, active employees and retirees. There is an option for retirees to enroll at their own cost for vision and dental insurance. We're also transitioning our, complimentary Medicare coverage over to Medicare Advantage, which is going to be better coverage for our employees. Fortunately, the Blue Cross plans and the large nonprofit insurance companies are not having the same issues that some of the privately owned insurance companies like Aetna and Humana are having with Medicare Advantage. So, the one good thing for us is that as chair of the Midland Campus Hospital Board, we have these conversations regularly, and I'm well aware of, what's happening with the hospital locally and their relationships with private companies like Aetna and Humana, who are not at this point really willing to negotiate rates much. Blue Cross has not been an issue, so. We will have rollout meetings for retirees in, I think, the week of December 10th. This is actually gonna be easier for them with their doctoring as far as how they, what paperwork and forms they have to submit. It will also be better coverage for them as of right now. So, and if that changes based on our retiree healthcare plan and a lot of, union contract language, if this becomes something that isn't better than the coverage they have or equitable, then we would switch back, but at this moment it is. So that's the direction that we're gonna be going. A letter did go out to all of the retirees who were eligible for this, under my signature, that was, crafted in coordination with our agents Brown & Brown and, approved by CMS. So, if you get questions about that, you can send people my way. We are still in the middle of negotiations with, the groups that expire on December 31. Those are going pretty well. We have filled the payroll position in finance. I believe that person will start next Monday, so that's good for Tiffany. She's got just this payroll that she's doing by herself, so then she'll have a week of training with this person, and then she can, hopefully, the next payroll will be training somebody else, which would be good. Not much in health department, other than we are continuing to have flu and COVID shot clinics. That information goes out to employees. If you're here, you can stop in. I did get both in the same day. I'm a little sore the next day. Going down to information technology. Probably most of you you are not aware that the MDCs, which are mobile data computers that we've had in law enforcement cruisers for years and years and years and years and years, have been causing us a little bit of an issue. We've been able to resolve, but they're also big and clunky and take up a lot of space in the cab of the cruisers. So we're testing out some tablets, which are smaller, to see if they are acceptable and can do the same thing. They're also less expensive to replace. So if that works out, that'll be a real improvement for the sheriff's deputy vehicles and how we're managing their work. Exchange, online exchange, so office, email 365, talked about the fact that we have no choice, we're gonna be migrating to that. Chris has identified a beta test group. We ran into a little bit of a snag with licenses, so hopefully that will be resolved and we'll be moving that in that direction soon. I say that even though I don't really love the idea of it. I'm trying to walk the walk so everyone else can't complain. Management County Council, I feel bad for Lee every time I think that we've got enough attorneys, another one leaves. Scott Moore, which is a huge loss. I don't know Scott, but my understanding is that he actually is a fabulous attorney. He actually goes to jail and talks to
Was
people.
he here 3-4 months or something?
Oh, no. He's been here longer.
6 to 8 months.
Yeah, 6 to
Okay.
8, yeah. But he's been courted by, pardon the pun, by the 55th Circuit Court for a long time, so he's gonna be their friend of the court, I think. Did I
He's
get
gonna
that
be,
right?
he's gonna be the referee.
Referee.
So he won't be the friend.
Yeah, so that's the Claire Gladwin Circuit Court area up in Harrison, I think. MSU extension, I don't know if any of you saw, I think there was an article in the paper, there was some TV coverage for the E-rail trailer that we got. I feel like it's been about a year since the board accepted that, in the form of a grant. And, I did attend the ribbon cutting on Friday. It's a really interesting concept and, you can't believe the stuff that they have in this trailer. We always think about responding to human lives when there's accidents or things that happen, that require public safety response, but we don't often think about how we care for or transport or manage animals. And our animal control officer, Todd Ponte, had gone through this training maybe a year ago and started working on this process to get one of these E-rail trailers placed in Michigan. There's only 8 that Michigan State has placed right now. I think they wanna add at least 1 or 2 more to the UP and maybe 3 or 4 more to the Lower Peninsula. I mean, there's a generator in there, there's harnessing equipment. When I walked through, one of the things I was surprised about was all of the beekeeping equipment. And I thought, why do you have that in there? And so I didn't realize there are companies that transport like hundreds of thousands, 50,000, 100,000 bees at one time from place to place for pollination season. And then after the pollination season is done, they manage to pack them all up and transport them back to wherever they came from in other areas of the country. So if you can imagine a semi-trailer or a rig like that, turning over on a highway, what that would mean, I had no clue. I'd never even considered it. It never even crossed my mind. So I learned something new every day.
So it's like a whole community that they're just trying to perpetuate bees.
Yes, yeah. But to me, in an animal emergency response trailer, I would never even, I mean, I stopped as I walked through, I'm like, why do you have bee stuff in here? I'd never even, yeah, and Todd explained to me that he had learned something new too when he had gone to this training. I'm like, I had no clue. Yeah, it was very interesting. So that will be housed out at Station 11, that trailer, and we can use it. It can be, an example of mutual aid for regional response. And Todd will haul it if he's available, if not, one of the other deputies will.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, is it gonna be the county sheriff's officers or firefighters, or who's gonna
No,
be trained on how to operate and use it?
Well, animal control is, and actually, there were members, both animal control officers from Bay County attendance at the ribbon cutting too, understanding that this is a regional collaboration, so.
Awesome.
Yeah. Parks and Rec, the brine well plugging project that we did in cooperation with Dow and AECom is done. AECom was fabulous to work with, their communication was incredible, they let us know every time we were accessing something. Can't say enough good things about them. I'm always surprised to see how many golf tournaments happen at Sanford Lake Park. I don't think of disc golf as a tournament sport, but in case you are interested, there was a tournament on the 13th with 40 participants. Veterans Day ceremony went very well yesterday. Aside from the wind, I've not given up on trying to figure out a better design for those dumb wreaths and the beautiful wreaths and the dumb tripods, how's that, that they put on. I end up going over there almost every afternoon of Veterans Day and picking them up because the wind just continues to knock them over, but.
And the audio.
Yeah, well, here's what happened with the audio. So the wind knocked stuff and the cord did come
Right.
undone, but by the time that the lady helped him put the cord back together, as she noticed it, he'd already turned it off. He'd already turned it off, so, but, you know, the military veterans are prepared and we had backup, so that's good. Backup, and actually the backup PA sounded a little bit better, a little louder. Yeah. Any questions for me?
Just a suggestion, I don't know what the protocol is, but you know, those wreaths are a problem every year. Whenever we could build like some stands with wreath hooks on rollers and then locking wheels and just have like, you probably only need 3 or 4 of them and then roll those out and just a thought so they don't keep blowing over and.
I've had a couple different, I mean, poor Ross and Kevin Meyer, I mean, they just are maybe tired of all the ideas I have on this, but, 2 years ago, I did actually do a little research online about, having wooden easels that are more sturdy that actually fold, and thought that would be a great project for 4-H clubs and or Eagle Scouts, so that's one idea. But yeah, I think that hopefully by this time next year, we'll have another solution.
Anything along that line would be good.
Yeah, they're just so not sturdy, those little wire frames, so.
It's always windy in November.
And, if you happen to be talking to any of the management staff at the H, much gratitude again for them bringing over their patio heaters and providing hot chocolate and coffee at no charge for
Are we
us.
going to send some sort of, thank you?
I
to
always
them?
do. I always do. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
Any questions for Bridget? Okay, next item, I believe, is, Counselor Smith.
Good morning, everybody. So there's just a few things happening. There were a lot of contracts the last, as you know, Denise has been busy making sure everything's completed before the end of the year, and so I've been reviewing a bunch of contracts for the county. And those are, I think, the bulk of them have now been completed without too many concerns. A lot of them are repeated contracts, some with state of Michigan and some with the Central Michigan CMHCM, and those are long and burdensome. But beyond the contracts, we've had a couple of issues out at Parks and Rec. There have been some trespass issues, people placing items on Parks and Rec property, county property, and one of which was a chicken coop that has engendered complaints from the neighbor, and now there may be an opportunity to do something about it. And we're discussing kind of solutions for this and for a similar problem that may be looking towards a longer term policy for dealing with situations like that. We've had a shoulder issue out at the rail trail. The contractor who was restoring the trail with some difficulty has put together a shoulder, 12-inch shoulder that's wider than it should be, and it's not tapered like it should be, and we've had a notice of an injury, and discovered the reason for it, and now we're looking for a solution with both the Parks and Rec, with John and Patrick, and the designer of the system and the contractor who implemented. There were some issues with both of those. So we'll hopefully get that resolved and get the shoulders straightened out for the rail trail.
For the record, there is, a lot of signage out there right now, in order for those people that are on the trail, that there is a dip. So we've made sure that there is notice.
Right, the notice came after the notice of injury, which did not appear to be a demand letter or anything like that, just a notice to the county, and Parks and Rec and Bridget were very quick to respond with signage to tell the public that, hey, this is the situation, don't, be careful. Received recently a secondary subpoena. This is regarding the dam failures. The state of Michigan is being sued by Krieger et al. And several law firms following a class action against the state, and we've been subpoenaed along with Four Lakes for information on 2 different occasions by 2 different law firms involved in this lawsuit. One we've responded to, and we thought we had responded successfully to the second one, but I got a call last Friday. They're still looking for information, so I emailed the request to try to identify what we really owed them, and sent it to Chris Cantrell, and hopefully we'll be getting some response. I think most of it is, quite frankly, we don't have the information they're looking for, but we have to double check and we need to respond, so we'll be doing that. Let's see. Oral argument has now been set on the Huron Cove matter down at the Court of Appeals in Lansing. That'll be, I think it's December, I'm not sure. But that precedes the ultimate decision by the Court of Appeals. If it's favorable or unfavorable, there may be an appeal. So we're not out of the woods yet, and we need to hopefully get it resolved sooner rather than later to allow for reconstruction, or construction resuming, I should say, in the spring. And that's about it. I'm looking to get Pinecrest signing on the Pinecrest Donor Fund, finally, after a long time it seems, and dealing with an appeal from probate court issue with Bridget. So beyond that, that's about it.
All right, any questions?
The appeal is from probate court for
A decision made by the probate judge, it's silly,
Yeah, I'm
but I mean,
aware.
we're comfortable with the way we're dealing with it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk with Bridget about it, we'll sort it out.
Yeah. Here, so
There's a timeline on that too. Meaning that, yeah, January 1, different time.
Oh, yeah.
The Heron Cove date is December 11th.
December 11th. So I think that might be available online if somebody wants to get on, listen to the oral arguments. And my experience tells me that typically in these situations, the decision has already been written and more or less decided upon, subject to a change of mind based upon the effectiveness of argument. But it's interesting to watch the judges. You can pretty much tell who's been assigned to write the opinion, that sort of thing. So it's, if you can get online, I think it's the State of Michigan website, and watch that if you wish to do so.
Any other questions? Yes, we have commissioner updates on boards and commissions. Why don't we start with Commissioner Snyder?
Yes, thank you. So it was busy. I went to the road meetings and they actually have an agreement, a different change agreement with the townships, actually giving them a little bit more money for their township roads. road repairs, the park situation and the trespass situation, just to keep the other commissioners aware. So we inherited a problem when we switched that property, and we got that from the state. That's the Verity Shores area, and there have been buildings and boats and sheds sitting on that property for a number of years, and so just determining the right path forward there. And I met with all my local area, and everything's good, business as usual there. Thank you.
Commissioner Brown?
Not a lot. Bridget talked on the charrette. I was at that meeting last week too, so it's good to see we're going forward with the study, and hopefully flood mitigation is something we don't just talk about, we make happen. So it's very exciting, you know, if we're gonna bring more people to our community. We don't want them living in houses that flood, and there's just so many reasons to do it. So we're on the right track there. Great Lakes Bay and Convention Visitors Bureau, we're starting to see hotel stays, easy for me to say, coming back to pre-COVID levels. So the numbers are starting to come back. In Midland, we're starting to see more business travel, not as much, but it's heading in the right direction. And the price per night in the hotels are doing well, so that's, you know, that's exciting news too. It looks like we're on the right path there. And, you know, I think that's really all I have of any importance. And it was obviously kind of, everybody was in election mode for a while, so it seems like things slowed down a little bit.
I laugh every time someone says that word.
Election?
Charrette, no.
Oh,
charrette.
charrette,
Well,
yeah.
election too, maybe
Sounds
it's
like a
charrette.
French bagel or something, I don't know, but, anyhow. Well, it's good to be back to business normal.
Good. Commissioner Terwilliger?
Yes, I did plan on attending that, but I had a, very, very close friend that had knee replacement that lives by herself, so I did help with care for her for the earlier part of last week, so that didn't happen, but I would have liked to have attended. So for Wednesday, October 30th, the Community Corrections Board, and we do absolutely fill up the room over at Pizza Sam's, the back room. We even have people on the inside. This particular day, we had Molly, who is our correction, Department of Corrections. That's who we send all of our applications to. And so everybody shined up their shoes, and we were ready to talk to Molly, and all went very well. We also had Bay City law enforcement there, so I had a couple of questions for them. We have a very, very high functioning corrections board, and we all let Molly know about that, and our outputs and our outcomes are very positive, and we're basically the corrections board that everyone wants to emulate. Additionally, recovery court, of course, on October 31st, and Pinecrest negotiations, which were about a week and a half ago, they went well. We were able to meet the needs of the two people that are on that represent Pinecrest employees, and those two people will be, they have been the people that we've been negotiating with. I don't know anyone else. I've always worked with them, and they will be retiring. Don't know who's gonna take their place. They work night shift, and they're the backbone of Pinecrest. They've been there forever. So that worries me a little bit, but it went well. So we bantered back and forth, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Geisler? Anything to report, sir?
The Marine Corps had its 250th anniversary last Sunday.
Did you go, Jim?
celebrated, you were with them for most of those years.
Yes.
In spirit.
Yes, at Ton Tavern in Philadelphia.
All right.
Yeah. Did you attend the ceremony on Sunday, Jim? The weather was so nasty. I normally go and I didn't. I was just curious how many people showed up.
There was a pile of people. I've never seen that many
I don't get it. It can be a beautiful day out there and there's 6 of us.
Yeah, you're talking about the,
Marine Corps,
oh,
the Marine Corps ceremony on Sunday, did you
oh,
go?
no, there were very few people there,
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, the weather was nasty.
But the VA,
Oh, yeah, the
there
veterans
were a
ceremony.
ton of people out there for that.
Okay.
And a free lunch at the
Yeah,
Big
good.
Boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Commissioner Dory
None to report, Mr. Chairman.
and Commissioner Smith.
Thank you. I've been attending the city council meetings where they are, continuing to discuss, what they're gonna focus their flood mitigation efforts on and, working with the city and the county and the state to make best use of their funds, and not, do things that we're also planning to do that will also, not like double cover certain areas. And so that's been super interesting to learn about. And then, I have, on October 23rd,
Elena, can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Ask a question. At the city council meetings, has there been any more talk whatsoever about the city supplying water to Larkin, or is that kind of faded down again?
I haven't heard anything about that since that meeting several months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some talk of the city doing certain things to creeks that are more that are outside of the city, such as like Sturgeon Creek, out that way. But nothing about Larkin that I've heard about.
Just flood mitigation.
I just to add in, so if you're unaware, even, I mean, we signed a 3-party agreement a while ago, in the last couple months for this project that Elaine is referring to, which is what the charrette planning is for, and that is $40 million in funding that we've gotten, the city's getting from the state. Part of that is ARPA funding and the other is through, I think, Eagle or the DNR. I'm not sure, but there are deadlines as far as the ARPA funding go for the obligating of that funding. So that is why the conversations have been so frequent about all of the results that Spicer has been doing in their planning of potential options to help mitigate the flooding in the inside the city limits. So, and I didn't know how much they talked about that.
Yeah, and I was surprised at all the different areas they went through project by project by project, what, different ones, and kind of rated them, and I thought that it would be areas that we've typically seen the flooding at, like in the city, like over,
Before
Valerie
that,
Lane and all that, but there's, significant work that they wanna do, like around Midland High and Airfield and Scott Street and that kind of neighborhood there, off of Sweet. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, some of the, I mean, offloading the water before it gets here is one of the best options, but you have to have large sections of property to be able to do that. And, the focus of these funds is to really look at the things that can be done the quickest and have the most impact. So that might be something that happens down the road, but as we all know, having retention areas for water to offload before it gets here is one of the best options.
The duck are smiling here too.
Yes, they may. Not that we know anybody that duck hunts.
And then, there's no more questions about that. October 23rd, I attended CHI Committee and Health and Human Services Council. They have their study out right now of Midland County's mental health and physical health and kind of the connection between that. So they're just trying to gauge where Midland is at. Do we need more resources? Do we need more knowledge of the resources? And so I encourage anyone to complete that survey. The data is really helpful. So yeah. And then I believe yesterday was the wreath ceremony that went really well. Thank you to, Commissioner Bone for being able to lay our wreath for us, and I think that is all I have.
Thank you. And for me, I have, or had, let's see, my various townships, things are pretty quiet in the townships. On the 31st of October, I did attend Teamster negotiations, so that was, I think, the first meeting for that here, Teamster, and that's in the courts area. Yeah.
Well, there's Teamsters in, like, my office over here, registered deeds,
Well, this was
treasurers.
courts. You know,
Oh, that's
So-
not Teamsters, that's steelworkers.
All right, steel,
Actually, were you on Steels or District Court?
pardon?
Was that Steels or District Court?
I guess district.
I think it's District Court you were.
So that was the first meeting, kickoff meeting, and, you know, I think just kind of laying out positions and concerns and trying to get, an initial proposal in their hands, so I think that went pretty well. We did have another meeting scheduled, and so that'll be coming up. Community mental health, we've had, I think I reported before that we've got a serious, compensation, I guess, for services from the state, for Medicaid services. So the problem is, that their funding is predicated on the number of people that sign up for Medicaid. I guess it's like selling life insurance, and, you know, rather than paying for services delivered, they pay some, prorated apportionment predicated on the number of people that sign up for Medicaid services, or Medicaid. And so that funding formula has left us, you know, mid-state, or not, Community Mental Health of Central Michigan, probably $1.5 million short in funding, so we have that deficit. But I think that, again, I think I reported this, there are 12 mental health groups in the mid-state agency, and 10 of them are underwater. So I think the state has recognized that there's a serious problem with the formula that they have arrived at, but we don't have a good solution worked out to remedy that. So that work is ongoing. And certainly we do have reserve funds that have been accumulated over the years, so that deficit is being made up to the various agencies, all 10 of them, but that's only sustainable for a short time before that reserve fund that's at mid-state is depleted. So those negotiations are going on, and I'm sure that saga will continue after I'm no longer here. So somebody else can be reporting on that. And let's see. Midland County Parks and Recreations on Wednesday the 6th. Again, as Attorney Smith and Jeanette Snyder, Commissioner Snyder reported, I guess the encroachments is continuing to be a problem. There was a bridge in Sanford, in the business district with no, what would we call it, a permit, a license. So I think there's a problem with community awareness that making those bridges over that ditch in the business district in Sanford, that while it's a good idea for safety, it is an encroachment on the rail trail property, and that poses a problem for Parks and Recreation, which has the responsibility to safeguard against those encroachments, or, you know, to somehow have them properly documented. So that whole process has to be worked on, I believe, so that it's wider known, more widely known that there is a method to approach the Parks and Recreation Commission to do this, to do it so that it's on the record and everyone recognizes that this is county property, and it's not, again, an unauthorized encroachment. So, more work will be coming on that.
Many times that's unintentional, right? Like,
Yeah.
people are trying to do a good thing and it's unintentional. The chicken coop is different. That was on someone's private property and, it's been there for many years, but the walkway, the bridge is.
The encroachments on the rail trail are a little bit different sort. County has a procedure for licensing access to the rail trail, and it is derived from the predecessor owners of the rail trail, which was the railroads, who really never allowed any access over, under, around, or through the train tracks. So,
Or the
county has
right of
been
way.
very
Or the right of way.
diligent in considering licensure and very limited in considering easements across the rail trail since its inception in 1990.
So a challenge there. It's almost a process that's hidden under a bushel basket as far as I can tell. So that's pretty much it for me. And let's see, I guess we're at, question, any other business to come before the committee?
Any comments or no?
No comments, I'm sorry.
Steve,
Yes.
can I just bring up, I know that Jessica's sent out some emails and you may have seen them, you may have not have seen them, but for the new commissioner school. I know that Larry, she's reached out to you about scheduling something. Jim will talk to you if you wanna do this. You don't have to be a new commissioner. Seated commissioners can attend. They're doing something a little different this year. They're having an online introductory session this Thursday at 11. But if you're gonna come to the MBA thing, it's gonna be a conflict for you for the State of the Business Community event, but it's only a 45-minute online event for, an introduction this Thursday. The face-to-face session in Frankenmuth, which many of you have attended, is December 2nd. That's an all-day thing from 9 to 4:30. I think I'm presenting at that again. I'm still waiting to hear back from Eric. And then there's online opportunities. So they have Zoom sessions, November 18th, 20th, 22nd, and 25th from like 11 in the morning till 12:30 in the afternoon if you're interested. So just let Jessica know she can get you registered.
All right. Commissioner comments. Start with Commissioner Bone.
I would just like to say congratulations to the commissioners that had competition and got reelected, and for those of you that have served and are no longer running again, heartfelt thank you for your participation. Your participation. I'm not even trying to say that.
Let me help you.
Thanks a lot, guys, that's what I mean.
All right, Commissioner Terwilliger.
I think we already covered everything pretty much for yesterday at, Veterans Memorial, but it's always a good day. I'm thankful that, my father-in-law was able to attend, and, Jenny Cron's still pretty young, she's 106, I think, Ray's only 101. They both are from Ingersoll Township, I'm just saying.
In the winter jeans.
Yeah, right?
Where the air is cleaner.
It's that southeast corner of the county. I'm thankful for that. It's always a good day, and I would say that I appreciate that there were some healing words that were expressed, by the speakers, and it gives us hope when we hear that we can all, kind of come out of this and work together again. That was my takeaway, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
And on the congratulations, I just wanted to clear that up. That's also to the new commissioners that have ran and got involved. Thank you to you guys also, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Geisler.
Yeah, I'm having a problem with, the city of Midland and its process on the, water. Ready to serve, charges for water and for sewage. As I look at it, is just another form of taxation. Sometimes the amount of, the charge for the water, is 1/5 of what the ready-to-serve charge is.
Maybe you should take that offline and see what we can do about that.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I don't think there's anything we can do there.
you don't think there's anything we can do? I don't know, I'm working on it mentally, and I'm not getting very far. But I sat on this, Saginaw Midland Water Supply System board for over 6 years, and that was years ago, but I don't ever remember having a, ready-to-serve charge. So I'm trying to get the history, first. That's the only remarks I have.
Commissioner Dory.
I too attended the Veterans ceremony yesterday, as well as the luncheon provided by the VFW afterwards, which was very good. 3 tacos, excellent. And I'd like to thank Rayleigh Tracy and Sergeant Major Steve Tracy for being so welcoming and seeing that I was attended to and cared for while I was in attendance at the luncheon.
Anything else?
That was all I had.
Commissioner Smith.
Thank you. I was also able to attend the Veterans Day ceremony, yesterday, and have, one of my close friends be able to lay a wreath on to which he was really excited, and felt honored to do that, so congratulations, to Buddy Vanderway for being able to do that. And, I wanted to, also say, congratulations to folks who won their elections and kind of echo, Commissioner Bowen's comments, and I look forward to serving with you guys in the coming years.
And I too, and Commissioner Snyder, I'm sorry.
That's okay, I was fine with letting you go
Commissioner
first.
Snyder.
I wanna echo, Commissioner Bowen's comments and, Commissioner Smith, very thankful that we know who our team's gonna be, that's always a little unnerving, so thankful to know that, congratulations. I was not able to attend the Veterans Day, which is so sad, but I work, a second job, so I was not able to attend that, and I was asked to lay a wreath, and that's always such an honor, so I'm so, thankful for the part of our team that went and celebrated with those individuals, much deserved, so thank you. Mark and I always have a little competition, and, but, which he won with write-ins, it was a joke, so, we have a lot of fun with the election. Thank you.
And for me, I too, want to thank the new commissioners for stepping forward and running. Congratulations on your wins in the election, and I wish you the best as you serve in the coming years, and certainly the commissioners that are continuing to serve. And also for Levy, who ran and did not win, I appreciate that he was willing to also just come forward and make that effort. So I think we're just blessed to have so many members of the community that are coming forward and willing to serve. Well, I guess it's a little bit early. This next month I can give my farewells to everybody. So I guess that's all I have to say. At this time.
Move to adjourn.
Support.